This is Maintenance and Manufacturing Insights, hosted by Martin Angser, bringing you straight conversations with the people keeping machines running and production moving.
Well, hey, good morning. Good morning, Ian. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, sir. Good morning. How's it
Good.
going?
Well, hey, got you on here. So, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what you do and where you work?
All right. What I do right now, I'm a manufacturing supervisor for Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, fourth plants. I started off as a floor hand order builder about 9 years ago in manufacturing, kind of working my way up, seeing what worked for me, what I wanted to do. Went from that to a machine operator to a specialist level three doing plastics. Thermoforming was pretty hot, climbing into ovens, so I decided I wanted to do human grade food. Cheese, that they have to at a controlled environment and a controlled level. So it's a nice 52 degrees. That was a great transition going from working in ovens to that.
Yeah.
Moved from that over to beverages now. So a little bit of everything, a little bit of all over the place, but it's gotten me to this point right now. And yeah, lots of hats.
That's good. I mean, that sounds pretty daggum interesting. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, going from the hot to the cold. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm telling you one thing though. One thing I absolutely hate and despise is cold. I am not
Yeah,
a cold. I mean, do the do the hot tub and then you do the cold plunge. I'm like, yep, nope, you're not gonna catch me. You're not gonna catch me in there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway,
Mhm.
so with what you do now, especially in regards to maintenance, right?
Hmm.
Maintenance.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
what's your standard operating procedure? Like, how do you? What's your day to day as far as maintenance, and what do you do? How do you keep an oversight over everything? How does that look for you?
So that's a very broad question. Specifically, I'm a senior supervisor. I also work very directly with maintenance. And that being said, right now, overseeing three production lines that entail anywhere from 7 to 9 people, those do take a lot of maintenance personnel on site. And the thing about manufacturing, and I don't know how it is at other facilities, but at ours specifically, the maintenance personnel, they come in with an understanding of what they do and what their skill set is. Not necessarily do they have any kind of training with the machines that we're currently running. That being said, when they hit the line and they have an issue, I have to be there on site to kind of help walk them through there, or with an actual lead, production lead, or somebody that can kind of guide them through that. And then, of course, you have the entire SOP that they have to follow as well as making the line call. How much time are they clocking in on that issue? What tools do they need to bring? What other resources might they need? And so the farther we get into that topic, kind of you can see the issues that the maintenance personnel that they'll encounter basically issue to issue.
Mhm.
So that being said, yeah, it just depends on the call and it depends on their experience.
Do you guys have a lot of different machines? And
Yes.
what kind of machines do you guys have? I mean,
So I think I counted a total of 36 different machines that entail our production floor right now. We have
okay.
everything from warmers that actually help keep the beverages as they come out of the filler. There's two of them right there at a certain dew point. So when we package them, they don't actually start to create mold as they're transported. So there's three machines. We have labelers, we have boxers, palletizers. The list goes on and on. And we're actually currently doing a rebuild right now where the plant is down the next 3 weekends as we install new machines. So our maintenance department's fixing to be incredibly busy.
Well, that kind of leads me right into the next question I was going to ask you was like,
Sure.
what's one of your worst case scenarios where, as far as the maintenance goes, that you're having to jump through the hoops and get things back up and running? Like what was the worst one you've had to deal with,
Oh God,
and
there's
how'd
so
you
many
fix
of
it?
them. There's
Oh,
so
and
many
how'd you
of them.
fix it?
How do we fix it? So,
Yeah.
okay, that's an excellent question. One that we had not too long ago, actually, was the filler, right? The filler is the heart of the house. That machine right there, it puts the liquid in the cans or in the bottles, whatever material we're running. And if it goes down, your line is dead, right? So we had one where we had the main drive shaft on our filler, which spins about 1,300 cycles, or it spits out 1,300 cans a minute. So it's moving at a pretty quick clip.
That's
Um,
unbelievable.
yeah,
Wow.
the main drive just bottomed out, just completely bottomed out. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm running with the skeleton crew of maintenance. I mean, I've got 3 guys. One of them's a trainee. So when you ask, what do? We call a code red where we escalate, do it through our downtime escalation event, where eventually I'll get to the maintenance manager. I'll get some more resources in my pocket at 2 a.m. And ultimately what had happened is we reached out to a specialist in Oklahoma. He walked us through over the phone. It took longer than, we wanted, but we got it done where we had to reinstall that main drive shaft, basically using, I love technology nowadays, a phone to kind of show him what we were looking at so he could help guide us. Again, we were able to put it back together for the morning shift to come in and, kind of pat ourselves on the back by getting it done because no one had done it before. But
Wow.
yeah, that's kind of how a catastrophic event gets handled. We just call a code red, get everyone involved that you can, and go from there.
And you said earlier that your line 1,300
Yeah.
cans a minute.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. That's on
Is that just filling the can, or is that basically sealed, done,
sealed, done, out the door. Sealed, done, out the door.
1,300 in a minute?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. That's so that's for 12 ounce. We also do 16 ounce. So these machines can change over. So we have
Wow.
them, we have them modified so that way we can, depending on what the market calls for, do an ad hoc changeover. So let's say our warehouse is running out of 16-ounce Sprite, right?
Okay.
I get that order. I can, in an hour, have that line changed over with my maintenance team and then have 16 ounces on the line at the end of the conveyor system ready to ship in hopefully nominally about an hour and a half to 2 hours, barring anything crazy going on. That's on the can line. So we do bottles as well, which those are a little slower because we blow them on an inline blow mold, which is an awesome process to watch.
You actually make the glass itself.
Make it as it's going down the line. So not the glass so much, but the plastic. We'll blow it in one
the
machine.
plastic bottles. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, PET. We'll have it blown, and in 30 seconds, I'll have fluid and a cap on that thing. So it's it's a pretty quick process.
And do I want to know the feed rate to that? I mean, how many are you cranking out a minute?
So on that machine, I'm doing about 780 a minute. I can crank it up to about 850, but when you do that, you have to work from one machine to the next to keep them 10% ahead. Again, it's one of those where when you get it and you get it dialed in, it's an awesome thing to watch, man.
I've been a Coca-Cola fan. I mean, not trying to butter you up or nothing, but I mean, it's like you go to the restaurant, it's Coke or Pepsi. Every time they say Pepsi, I mean, it takes every bit of me to stay there versus just get up and leave just because I don't like Pepsi. I'm a Coke guy. I've been a Coke guy since I was a little kid. So that's pretty insane. That is literally pretty insane. So if we can go back to the issues or whatever else, if we can think of a reoccurring problem that you have over and over and over again, what would that be?
Oh gosh. So I would say the number one and number two, and I don't want to be one of those guys because training is never an issue. You can never say that's going to be it, but it really can be. And lack of wherewithal from the employees. But what I'm getting at is the conveyors. So because these lines that we have to move the product from one end of the plant to the other, they have to allow for cooling and drying. So the conveyor system at the plant, I think I could be wrong with this, but I want to say it's about a mile, a little over a mile for all of our conveyor systems, which it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but the way it twists and winds to allow for the cooling and everything, it actually is. And so when you get humps, divots, anything that keeps the cans from moving at a fluid clip, you get down cans. And it doesn't sound like a bad thing, but a down can stops the line. An employee has to get off from what he's doing, off that machine, go over there, lift it up, put it right, so that way it doesn't get packaged incorrectly, and then we have to put it to the side and rework it. So a simple down can is probably the worst thing that we entail, and that my maintenance team, when we have things running well, that's what they're looking for. We have catwalks that go across the lines that allow them oversight to try to identify trouble spots. Yeah. So, but something simple like that, man, down cans. The next worst issue, low fills. So when you're running at 1,300 on the can line, you're watching your net weights, right? And it's crazy to think, it's a 12-ounce can. How could I possibly have an overfill? It's got a cap on there. I can only put so much fluid in there. It's my maintenance department's job to identify and then try to level that filler speed with how much fluid it puts in, and that's determined by our run rate. So if we go too fast, we're putting not enough fluid in, and then if you're going too slow, you're doing what we call an overfill. It's not really one, but you don't want to give away too much of the product if you don't have to, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Dollars and cents at the end of the day.
Exactly. It's what keeps us going.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, we deal with feed rate and stuff like that when it comes to machining, as far as like when you've got the material that's coming in, you've got your spindle that's doing the work or whatever else, you've got the speed of the spindle, you've got the feed rate. If all those things don't, and depending on what material you're using or that you're cutting away from, that also makes a difference on what your speed and your feed rate is going to be, just because, some things are more pliable, harder, some of it gums up, just whatever. So the feed rate and what you're doing, like you're talking about your the fill line and all that stuff, that makes a big difference. I mean, if you're
it really does
too quick and it doesn't get, then you're off again on your number. So I'm sure that's hard to navigate every once in a while.
You're running so fast. This is the one thing that the new employees or the new supervisors that I work with and train, it takes some time to grasp. But one issue, right? Because we have HACCP points, control points that, let's say the fill techs are what we use. It's one of our quality control points. Sure. It sees the cans as they go through, and it uses radiation to detect the fill level, right? So let's say you get a rash of low fills. You're going to hear that thing go off like a M240, just kicking the cans off. And you've got these giant bins that when you're running again at 1,300 cans a minute, that's a lot of cans of line, and you're filling bins up like that. And you've got a team of guys just trying to control that as well. And so it puts the fire under your maintenance department. But like you were just talking about, if you don't get that timed in, you're destroying your own work, basically.
Right. Everything can go belly up real quick. I mean, 1,300 a minute. Yeah. I mean, like you were talking about earlier about the one can, it doesn't sound like a big deal. It's just one can, but if you look at the big scheme of things, especially with a feed rate doing 1,300 a minute, that one can be a giant problem.
Oh yeah.
I could definitely see that. That's unbelievable. So here, with all that being said, what do you think when you talk to people, just random people like friends, family, whatever else, and you tell them about what you do? What do you think is, to them, the most mind-blowing? Like, to them, they're just like, what? I mean, for me, it's the 1,300. I mean, 1,300 cans a minute. To me, that's just, you guys are cooking. I mean, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. I think it's when I talk to just like family, for instance, or my girlfriend, it's the level of involvement that we have to, and it's just going to sound kind of off point, but the level of involvement that we have to have with the current company I work with the community. I said I was off today, right? Yeah. No, not really. I have to be there for events, cleaning up the side of the highway is what I'm going to be doing after I talk to you with Coca-Cola. Nice. But that and just, why I got into doing what I do and why I've been in management. Management's fun. Management's fine, but it's being able to change people's lives with manufacturing. There's structure there. It's continuous improvement. I oversee a team of 32 different individuals. They all have 32 different lives that they have to leave and still show up for a 12-hour shift, go home with all their fingers and toes. I have to get them trained up, make sure they stay safe, and make sure that their needs are met and they got money in their pocket. They get to hug their family at the end of the day. It's the level that we have of involvement with our people. And I think that blows away a lot of people outside of the industry because they think machines, they think 12-hour shifts, PPE, a break room by yourself, because I also work on overnights, but I prefer that. And why? Because management, they're not there at night. So there's a lot less noise for them and they get to see what the actual environment's like. For me, when I was 10 years ago, starting off doing this as a floor hand, it was a means to an end. It was a paycheck. It was a job, right? But then you got the benefits. You've got the 401k. And you start to see all of these things. And it can be life-changing. And for some people, it gets them where they need to be. And that's probably it like you were asking for others be like, oh, wow, I really had no idea that's also that level of involvement when it comes to trying to develop a career.
Right.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite part and one of the most interesting parts outside of the machines.
That's that like, yeah, I've got a friend of mine in Germany. He actually, well, he was the maintenance manager also for the machine
Mhm.
line for batteries, Varta,
Okay.
VATRA, Varta, VARTA, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
they now make all the batteries for all the iPods,
Oh,
the
wow. Okay.
AirPods, the little AirPod things.
Yeah. Yeah.
They manufacture all the batteries for that. And when he started telling me some of the numbers of batteries that they're cranking out per minute, it's the same as the 1300. I mean, it absolutely just blows. I mean, again, for me, being in the manufacturing maintenance world
Yeah.
and dealing with, my clients, whatever else, it's really unique hearing some of these numbers. And for me, I mean, it really is, truly is.
Yeah. Yeah. The high speed
So
manufacturing is a different animal for sure.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's unreal. It really is unreal. So with all that stress that you deal with on a day-to-day basis and keeping everybody in line, what do you do outside of Coca-Cola? And if you tell me make mixed drinks with Coca-Cola, that ain't gonna work.
That happens after the hardships, for
There you
real.
go. There you
For
go.
real. I
That's
mean,
right. That's
Jack and
right.
Coke, man. It's funny when I first started over at Coca-Cola, my manager that was the gift. Actually, is what he handed us for Christmas was mini Jack, mini Coke.
There you go.
Actually, I'm sitting at my desk right now, and for me, I'm a big kid, man. I build PCs, so I
Oh,
just
okay.
finished
Yeah.
doing a Ryzen build. I would turn the camera, but it's kind of I got too many lights behind me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I game drones. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd. I like to get out in nature. I got a Jeep, so I'll
There
drive
you
out in the
go.
middle of nowhere, try to get stuck, and send the DJIs up. And put it this way, I just got off PTO, right down in
Uh,
Corpus, enjoying a concert on the beach. Just try to get out of the environment, and forget about work.
right. Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
required. You got every once in a while, you got to purge the system, right?
hundred
So,
percent, hundred
yep.
percent. It can get very frustrating, especially during summertime in any manufacturing environment I've ever been outside of doing human grade food when it's nice, chilly 52 degrees. But we know right now at the plant that, yeah, we know that we're fixing to lose at least 20 to 30% of our employees. It happens every summer.
Oh,
It
wow.
typically it starts off with your new hires. You always
Yeah.
want to start looking at the guys that have been there for less than 2 years. 2 years is kind of the sweet spot, honestly, with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've already been through one summer and they're trying to decide, do they want to do it again?
Yeah.
So that being said, there's a lot of stress going on. So you need to decompress and, unplug, man.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I mean, I definitely have to say that was pretty insightful. I mean, it's again to me, daggum wild that us, well, okay. Here's a quick question though for you.
Mhm.
So for your line, what's your crew? Like, how many people you got on your can line? I mean, is it 50, 20, 100? I mean,
So I'm a senior, right? I
okay,
oversee the entire plant at night. I have three lines. We break them down. So your typical manufacturing supervisor, where I'm at right now, they're assigned one line per person. I oversee all three. So I've got the APET bottle line, which is our moneymaker. It's an automatic. It's a 16.9 liter, or not liter. I'm sorry, 16.9 ounce bottle. No changeover. It's easy money, man. I walk in every shift. I do my Gemba. That thing's running. Then you got
mhm,
line two. It's the sci-fi line. That filler came from KHS out of Germany. It does, I could be wrong on this, 109 valves. So it only spins at about 780, almost a little half of what my can line does.
mhm,
And it actually consumes the most amount of resources, right? So
yeah,
that line, because it's so automated, I can run with 5 employees. My line one, I overstaff intentionally with 9 to 10. That way I can bleed employees from lack of labor issues over to my other lines if necessary. And then I got my traditional can line. Love this line, and here's the why. It least amount of resources. If I lose my compressors outside, let's say one blows for my pneumatics, my blow molds go down on 1 and 2. I'm not running. Line
yeah,
three, cans, babe. I'm not blowing any can. They're already made. They come to me we do short order shipping. So my can's ready to made. I can run that line with 5, but if I want to do brakes properly, and at Coca-Cola, we tend to we throw in an extra brake actually. So,
Sure.
that being said, I can run that one with 5, but 7 is ideal for breaks and lunches and just coverage. So I would say, all said and told, for a good shift, all departments, right? Talking maintenance, quality, and my production lines, I'm overseeing around 38 people per shift. So, but again, take 7 and slap them on each line, and you got 21 in production. So,
Wow. I
yeah,
mean, that's quite a bit.
it is. It's a
really
lot of
is.
direct
It's quite a bit.
reports. Yeah,
And
but
like we were talking, and like you were saying earlier, anything go wrong at, I mean, just a can,
oh gosh.
just stops
Yeah,
up
I've
everything.
had everything from people falling out from high blood pressure to getting your hand caught in the bail. You've got all these little worries
Yeah,
that. So
right.
another thing I think I should add, I'm I target or try to budget myself at least 80% of the floor. I'm
Okay.
constantly just, because when we talk about these manufacturing lines, I think I touched on it earlier a little bit, where the conveyor systems are intentionally elongated to allow for cooling processes
Right,
and heating,
right.
of course, when the packaging. So there's a lot. I think I clocked in like 9 miles the other night just walking around the plant throughout my shift. That's,
Hey, that's
yeah.
what if work helps you get your steps in. I mean,
I,
that's freaking
dude,
doing it
yeah,
right
yeah. I'm
there.
losing weight out there, man. I don't even have to go to the gym anymore.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Daggum. Well, man, I'll tell you what, Ian, it was absolute pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for all the insights and what you do and how you do it. Managing the people that you do really does shine a spotlight on it. So I
Mhm.
really appreciate your time and talking with me and everything. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks for
Sure, I
tuning in.
appreciate you. Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure,
Absolutely.
man. Love talking about what I do.
It definitely shows. It definitely shows. And to all the viewers, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for listening to Maintenance and Manufacturing Insights with Martin Angster. Want to be featured on the show? Head over to maintenancemanufacturinginsights.com/guest to apply and share your story with the industry.